Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining us for UNLV Arts Worldwide.
UNLV Arts Worldwide.
UNLV Arts. UNLV Arts.
UNLV Arts.
UNLV Arts Worldwide, made possible by the Student Harriet Lipoff Technology Fund.
This episode features an inside look at the collaboration between UNLV Opera Theater, the Nevada Conservatory Theater, and UNLV Film on the production of Sur la Table.
Hi, I'm Brett Levner, and I am an associate professor of film at UNLV. And this semester, we had a really exciting and unique opportunity to collaborate with the opera program at UNLV. This is unique to the situation right now because of COVID and because of the pandemic. They're not able to perform for a live audience. So the next best thing was to film it and then make it available for the live audience. So there were some challenges in place here for the film program, finding students who would be able to go on campus in the midst of the pandemic, who felt safe. Professor Carl Ulrich, who teaches cinematography, put together a crew of cinematography students who were actually more than willing and totally excited to get back onto campus and shoot. I think they were getting exhausted by the remote aspect of production, and they jumped at the opportunity really to get back onto campus and film something in person. All this was done safely, of course, with social distancing and masks, but just to be back behind the camera, the students seemed totally kind of enthralled.
I'm Linda Lister. I'm the director of UNLV Opera. And we're back in the theater. It was about a year ago when we were doing Orpheus in the Underworld. It was our last performance, and that was like the last performance in the state of Nevada. Everything shut down right after that. So we're thrilled to be back singing live. We're not performing for a live audience, but we've figured out a safe way for the students to be singing and doing the art that they love. It's been a challenge in terms of certain things, socially distancing the staging, which has worked great for almost everything. It's a little challenging for a love duet, but we're making it work. And it's been interesting to see the students come back and be so excited to be able to make music. And they've all adapted so well. This production actually was supposed to be last fall, so again, it was deferred for the spring. So all the delays, but gave us more time to plan. And now that we're filming, and I'm not a film director, so this is all new to me. I'm learning so much. That's a new challenge. And then the fact that we need to use microphones to record, because our opera singers, we don't use microphones, right? We're just projecting our own voice. So we're all learning some useful skills. In the meantime, we're just so happy to be able to share the art of opera. So our production is called Sur la Table. It's a pastiche in that it has scenes from 4 different operas that are of the French standard repertoire, and then a modern one act in English. And the whole idea is that the table is the unifying motif. So most people are probably familiar, of course, with Carmen, perhaps the most famous opera, and there's a famous card trio where they're doing tarot readings, so that's the opening. You probably will recognize that. Then we have some beautiful music from Le Cid, a famous Spanish play, turned into an opera by Massenet, where a princess and her friend are talking about sharing a love for someone. And then we go to the familiar story of Manon Lescaut. We have 2 different versions. We have the Aubert operetta version and then the more familiar Massenet operatic version. So it's interesting for the students to compare 2 composers' realization of that. And then we have a brand new one act called Royal Flush by American composer Frank Pesce. And it's about 4 sisters who are playing poker and their mother's the dealer. And they all have really obvious tells. One is a prolific swearer, so there is an adult language warning for her part. Then there's another one who can't stop giggling. There's another who is just super confident, overconfident, and then one who's just really angry. And it's been interesting. I don't play poker. We've learned a lot about that, but it's perfect for Vegas that they're playing poker. But it's fun to see these students do this new work, and they got to speak with the composer Frank via Zoom, and just to get insights from the composer, and he's also the librettist. So.
Hi, I'm Mckenna Barney, and I am a first-year MFA stage manager with the NCT here at UNLV, and this is actually the first show that I'm stage managing here since, I'm a first year. And it's actually the first opera I've stage managed, so it's been quite a learning experience. Most of my experience comes from doing straight plays like August Osage County or like Shakespeare and Tennessee Williams, and I've done a few musicals, but musical theater is very different than opera. First of all, musicals tend to be in English, and a lot of what we're doing in this show is in French. So when you combine not knowing a language to people being in masks where sound is also muffled, it kind of makes it hard following along in music. And then just making sure that things are clean and sanitized. I mean, singers, they breathe a lot and they have air particles come out. So just making sure that things are clean. Bringing cameras into the mix. We learned that lighting looks different on stage than it does on camera, so that's always fun.
I'm Courtney Schwalbe. I'm a first-year DMA student here at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. This semester, we are recording our opera scenes program, pre-recording. As opera singers, that's not, we don't usually work with cameras or mics, so it's been interesting. I think this year has been amazing to watch just how adaptable artists can be and theater people in general, because that's a skill we practice in every single show. Sometimes things go wrong and you have to learn how to adjust to those things on the fly, and this year has been a lot of adjusting, getting used to first classes and lessons and even some rehearsals over Zoom. And as we have moved back into distanced and masked rehearsals in person, getting used to singing and rehearsing like that has been incredibly interesting, but it's been so good to get back and to sing with other people. I think as performers, we live and breathe and thrive off of that interpersonal interaction that we get when we do theater and when we make music, and it's been a hard year for us. If you know a performer, send them some kind words. We're probably all struggling, but it's so good to finally be back in the theater, and it's for a lot of us our happy place, and so I'm just thrilled to be back.
The film students had a great opportunity to collaborate with other parts of the college. So they were working with master's students who were doing, the scenery or the scenic building of sets. They collaborated with the performers who were singing in the opera. They collaborated with the stage manager, and it was this kind of great opportunity to come together and to utilize their skills to kind of make this happen. So it was a great kind of blending of film, music, and theater into this kind of final project. Ultimately, the footage that was shot is going to be edited together. There are 3 cameras, so those will be edited together into a final edited piece, and that is what will be streamed online. The editing will be done by UNLV film editing students, and I think they're like super excited to do something that's relevant, that's something that's going to have an audience. It gives them the experience that they can then, professional experience really, working with a client, and something they could put on their resume, something they could put on their reel, and I think it gets them excited and enthralled that they have, instead of doing stock footage assignments, they can work with actual footage that there's an end goal in sight that's going to impact the community.